Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another 100 Essential Film You Need to See. This week, we are going over Singing in the Rain from 1952. So this one I am really excited about because I don't think I've ever seen the movie before this viewing, but I did see the stage play of this many years ago in Atlantic City. It was something my grandmother really wanted to see, and the selling point for me was that they were going to do the scene where he's singing in the rain on stage, and I really wanted to see how that was going to work in action. And I guess because of that, that is the only part of the play that I remember many years later. They had this awesome little setup where the rain came down into a little reservoir type stage, so everything was mostly contained inside there. And I guess through a piping system up top, the rain came down and the actor was singing and dancing in actual rain on the stage. I think since then there has been a version on a lip sync battle show on TV. I've only seen the clips through like YouTube or Facebook, so I don't know a whole lot about that show, but I believe they did it kind of the same way. And let me tell you, I really did enjoy this movie. Let me tell you a little bit more about it if you have not seen it yourself. This is the 1952 Singing in the Rain. It's the American romantic comedy that depicts Hollywood in the late 20s, focusing on a small group of performers transitioning from the silent films to the talkies. There is a point in this movie that gets really meta and kind of blew my brain wide open. The scene happens during like a wrap party of one of the silent films that two of our main characters are in. The head of the studios shows the actors a device that is going to revolutionize the movie industry, turning the silent films into talkies. A couple of the actors start discussing how this isn't going to work, it's preposterous, and in my mind I'm going, wait a minute, you're in a talkie, talking about a talkie, and saying it's going to fail, and it took my brain a second to realize just how many layers were in this conversation or in this scene. The head of the studio says that not only is it preposterous, Warner Brothers is getting ready to release their first full talkie, The Jazz Singer, and that they would know with the release of that if this was going to take off or not. In the meantime, they're working on another silent film, which kind of gets us caught up to where we are in that film. But let's explain a little bit further some of these characters. For the most part, we are following Don Lockwood, played by Gene Kelly, whose best friend is Cosmo, and, by the way, my favorite in this movie. The leading lady in Lockwood's films is Lena Lamont. That is a lot of L's, and I'm sure you enjoy them just as much as I do. However, Lena has a voice for silent films, which is going to be a pretty big part of why what happens in this movie happens. Later, we are introduced to the true love interest of Don in the character Kathy Selden, played by Debbie Reynolds. After the success of The Jazz Singer, the studio putting out Don and Lena's next movie, called The Dueling Cavalier, decide to make it a talkie. They do a premiere of this movie to a small audience, and it is terrible. It is like Ed Wood or Tommy Wiseau kind of bad. Don goes back to his house with his partners, Cosmo and Kathy, to discuss his failing career after this movie is released. Cosmo comes up with a great idea about turning it into a musical and letting Don get back to his original talents, which were singing and dancing. They come up with a plan to use Kathy's voice instead of Lena's, which they know is going to cause an issue, so they do a lot of it behind Lena's back. In my opinion, the music is fantastic. The comedy, especially coming from Cosmo, is pure gold. The plot is pretty fantastic. My only question or only spot of bewilderment in this entire film is why one scene of the movie where Don sings Singing in the Rain is the reason for the name of the movie. Other than that, I think this is fantastic. If you're a fan of musicals and old films, this should definitely be on your list of movies to watch. If you've already seen it, let me know below who your favorite character and what your favorite part was, because I am super ready to tell you why Cosmo is definitely the best. Which this brings me to my favorite part of this series, where we get to scratch off Singin' in the Rain. Alright, so I'm going to be honest. I don't know what to guess is going to be behind this. I might say maybe the main characters. We'll see. Oh yeah, I guess it would have made sense that it would have been him singing in the rain. I did say main character, so I still win. Ha! And there we have Don Lockwood singing in the rain. So there we have Singin' in the Rain, 1952. Next week we're going to be doing High Noon, which I am pretty sure I've never seen. So I want to thank you guys very much for taking time to watch these reviews, comment, and subscribe, and like, and all that fun stuff down below. Very big thank you to my Patreon followers, whose names are going to pop up in just a second. Again, you guys really do mean so much. I hope you're enjoying the exclusive content. If you guys want to check out the Patreon, I'll add a link below. You guys can check that out over there. Thank you very much. I love you all. I will see you next Tuesday. Later days.